Hi everybody, it's Foxy, your drama teacher here. In today's video, I'm giving you a stage makeup tutorial. The stage makeup tutorial will include basic stage makeup application. It will include highlights, shadows, or contours, and I will also include a tutorial on how to do a smoky eye. Smoky eyes can be done on stage. They can also be worn off stage. If you are ever going out in the town and you want to look a little extra fancy, you can do a smoky eye, and I'm going to show you how to do that here. Stage makeup is worn not only by women, it's also worn by men. And so a lot of these tips and tricks in the very beginning that I'm going to be giving you are universal across all sexes and genders. Let's get started. So first things first, my face is clean. I got out of the shower recently. I have washed my face in the shower. I moisturized my face after the shower. And now I'm going to be applying a base foundation. I use the same foundation in streetwear that I do on stage. That's not generally recommended, but this foundation, I don't really wear a lot of foundation out and about ordinarily. And the foundation that I do use is something called MAC Studio Tech. If you have a Ben Nye cream-based foundation, that's also great. You can have other brands of stage makeup, like the kind that is a pancake that you add a little bit of water to the lid and you use a sponge and you dip the sponge in the water and then you dip the sponge all around the pancake to create a little bit of moist makeup, and then you put that all over your face. That's a great application for stage makeup as well. Liquid foundations or sheer foundations or other types of department store, over-the-counter, or drugstore foundations are not good use for stage, primarily because they are too thin, they're too translucent, they're not going to give you a thick, heavy base for your makeup. And the reason why it's important to have a heavy base for your foundation or heavy base for your makeup is because stage lighting is merciless. Stage lighting is not forgiving. It will make you appear pale and sickly and ghostly on stage if you do not use the right color of stage makeup. If you do not apply thick enough makeup, you will look like you are dead on stage. Generally, the rule of thumb is you want to go 1 to 2 shades darker than your natural skin tone. And to test that out, what you do is you take a little bit of makeup in your finger and you put it against the wrist. You put it against the skin or the flesh inside your wrist. And I'm not sure how well you can see that here, but you can see that this makeup here is definitely darker than the veins in my wrists. But it's not so different that it would not be appropriate on stage. You want to avoid things that make you look orange. It's a very common mistake, especially among young boys, where they just grab a shade and they're like, yeah, this is darker than my natural skin tone, and it makes them look orange. So avoid the Oompa Loompa look. So I'm going to apply my base first. To apply my base, I'm using a foundation brush. You can also use a sponge. Sometimes makeup will come with a sponge like this. You can also use like the triangular sponges that come in a Ben Nye personal kit. You can go to the drugstore or Walmart or Target and you can buy a whole pack of makeup sponges. If you're ever applying makeup for one of our shows, I will provide the sponges for you, and just make sure you throw them away. Don't leave them out, because I clean up so many gross sponges at the end of a show. It's disgusting, so pick up after yourselves. All right, here we go. I'm going to apply my foundation with this brush, and I'm going to apply it all over my face. I decided I'm going to switch to the sponge instead of using the brush. The brush is really great, I think, if you want a light coverage, but I'm finding just by using it on my face right now, I'm not quite getting that really thick, full coverage that I want to for stage. So I'm going to go ahead and put that brush down and use this sponge instead that came with it. Also, the makeup is almost empty, and so I'm having a hard time getting it out of the creases of the container. I mentioned this before in another makeup tutorial where I got ready for an audition, which if you want to watch that video, you can click on the link right above and you can see how to get ready for an audition. And the makeup application for an audition or for a camera audition or for an in-person audition is very, very different than makeup application for a show or for a performance or stage makeup in general. One thing is universal though across all makeup application is that when you are applying foundation, whether it's a liquid foundation for streetwear or a heavier foundation for stage, always make sure you get foundation on your eyelids. Foundation on your eyelids will help the eyeshadow that you put on afterwards stay in place better. so my foundation is finished. If I were getting ready for an audition, I would set my foundation now. But I'm not getting ready for an audition. I nailed the audition. I got the part. It's opening night. And now I am putting on my stage makeup for reals this time. So there's a couple other things I need to do first before I set my makeup. The next thing I need to do is my highlights and contours. And so to do that, I'm using this Ben Nye contour palette. This comes in the personal kit that you get with Ben Nye. You can use any other highlighter contour cream, but since I have this one, it's the one I'm going to use. And I'm going to show you guys the basic places where you add highlight and where you add contour, and then how you blend that all together. I am going to use a brush for this simply because I don't know that I have any sponges available, because I took them all to school because you guys go through them like they're candy. I'm actually gonna use my finger. Okay, so to start off, you want to apply the highlights in these areas. You want to create a T of highlight across your forehead, like this. And we'll blend, trust me, we'll blend. And you want to create it straight down the bridge of your nose right here. Remember I said that when you're on stage, the stage lights are so intense, they're so powerful that they can really take away all the facial features from your face. And so what the highlights and the contours do is just adds some makeup assistance to help define the features. It helps define your nose, define your cheekbones, define your chin, so that you don't have to fight as much with the stage lights. Okay, so what I've done here is I've added highlight in a T-bar like this across my forehead and on my nose. I've also done some highlight on my chin. And then the last place I'm gonna add highlights is right on the tops of my cheeks, like this. Okay, that is where I've added all the highlight. Now I'm gonna be adding the shadow or the contour. This technique is very universal across theater, even when you are doing like age makeup or other specialty makeup, when you want to define other certain parts of your body. So I'm gonna have a separate video on age makeup where I'll add the highlights and the contours in different places to emphasize like the jowls here in your face and the wrinkles in your forehead and the crow's feet next to your eyes. But the concept is the same of applying highlights and shadows to different areas of the face that you want to emphasize. All right, so now that I have my highlights on, I'm going to add my shadow right above on my forehead, above the highlight. I'm adding the shadow there. I'm gonna take this shadow and apply it on the sides of my nose here and here, like that. You don't need a lot because the contour, the shadow in this palette is much, much darker than my skin tone, and just how much the highlight is much brighter. And so you really want to be very, very careful, very gentle with how much highlight and contour you are using. And then I'm gonna apply it under here on my face as well. To define my jaw and to make my cheeks stand out more. Okay, now this is a very over dramatized version of where I've put the highlights and the contours, and now I'm going to try to blend it all in. Now you don't want to blend it all in together, right? You don't want to just like blend it in like you would blend in foundation, because that will defeat the whole purpose of establishing the highlight and the contour sections. So you want to take a brush or a sponge, and you want to be very careful with how you blend it all in. You want to be gentle. Okay, and what that's done is that's just added some life and some dimension to my forehead. Up close and personal, you can still see that there's a definite color difference. My cheeks are whiter, above my eyebrows are lighter, above that is darker. You can still see some definite intentional distinction in my nose from where the highlight and from where the contour is placed. That will, like I said, help you give your face some more angularity on stage. Now that I've done my highlights and my contours and I've blended them in a little bit, I'm going to apply blush. This is the same blush that I used from my audition video. It is MAC Blush Baby. I'm using a regular ordinary blush brush, nothing fancy. You'll also notice that for stage, my blush is gonna be a lot heavier than it would be for street makeup. So that is adequate for now. Okay, so now that I've done my foundation, or my base, I've done my highlights and my contours, I have done my blush, now I'm going to set my makeup. You can use any sort of setting powder, translucent powder. They also make setting sprays you can use. I'm not a personal fan of the setting sprays, but I know sometimes they're easier because you can just spritz, 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 and then you feel like your makeup is set. So the purpose of setting your foundation setting your makeup is to prevent it from dripping or running when you sweat on stage. Sweating on stage, it's a thing, it's real, it happens, even to the best of us. So I have found that setting your foundations or setting your makeup with powder prevents sweat much more effectively than setting spray. But to each his own. Okay, now my makeup is set. The next thing I'm going to do is move on to my eyes. Like I said in the introduction, I'm going to be doing a smoky eye. I'm very excited. Smoky eyes are so fun. To help me with this smoky eye, I have a couple things. I have this Lash Domination liquid eyeliner, which I got recently. I even created a YouTube video where I used it for the very first time. I've never used liquid eyeliner before. If you want to see that video, you can check it out. It's on, I'll link it above so you can see it. First time ever using liquid eyeliner. It was a fun time. I'm going to use the False Lash Extreme Black Mascara that I discovered for the first time. I was going through my makeup bag. I bought it a couple years ago. I never even opened it. So if you want to see that video, you can click that link above for what's in my whole makeup bag. I had an entire video of just going through all the makeup that I have because I have so much. So I'm using those two things, mascara and eyeliner. And then to do the actual smoky part of my eye, I have 4 colors that I'm going to be using. They're all MAC colors. You're so shocked. You're like, oh my gosh, Mrs. Fox, you use MAC? I do. So to help me create my smoky eye, I have a soft brown matte, which is going to go on first. Then I have 2 very dark colors. I'm doing a navy blue smoky eye to match my navy blue Foxy shirt. And so to do that, I have a color called Contrast, which is a velvet, which is very, very dark blue eyeshadow. Then I have something called Carbon, which is a matte. It is a black eyeshadow. And then I have something called Crystal, which is a Frost, which is a light blue, shimmery makeup that's gonna go right in the corners of my eyes when I'm done with the smoky eyes. All right, the first thing I'm gonna do to help my smoky eye along is I'm going to apply something called a paint pot. I've talked about this paint pot in numerous videos. I really like it for applying a layer of makeup to your eyelids that will help the eyeshadow stick to your eyelids better. I know that I said foundation will do this, and that's true. Foundation does a great job, but this paint pot dries very quickly on your eyelids and really helps your eyeshadow stick. I have very small, deep set eyes, and so eyeshadow caking in the creases of my eyes, like up in this area here, is a really big problem for me. So I'm a big fan of this paint pot product. Guess the brand. MAC. Shocked. I know you're shocked. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my favorite MAC 224 brush and I'm going to apply the soft brown matte eyeshadow across both lids. All done. The next step, and this might seem a little bit out of order, but for a smoky eye, the next thing I'm going to do is actually apply the eyeliner. So I've just done a single layer of soft brown eyeshadow on my eyelids, and now I'm going to apply liquid eyeliner. I'm still a newbie at this, so forgive me if it doesn't turn out as perfectly as I would like it to. I'm also gonna get really, really close so I can actually see what I'm doing. Look at that. Look how much better I'm getting at doing this. Okay, I goofed up that one a little bit in the corner, but it's fine. I'm not going anywhere. Next you want to take the color of the eye that you're doing. So like I said, I'm doing a dark navy blue smoky eye. And so I'm going to take my contrast. The color itself is called contrast. It's a dark navy blue. And I'm going to take this little brush, which is has very dense bristles, and it's a very, very controlled application. And I'm going to just put a little bit on the end, just a real little bit on the end. I'm only going to put the dark color on half of my eyelid. I'm only going to put it on this part here away from my nose on both eyes. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. That one got a little out of control there at the top. Now I'm done with my navy blue contrast color. Next, I'm going to take my carbon. This is the very, very black matte color that MAC makes. And I'm going to take this little teeny tiny brush. This is a MAC 219. And a little brush here that will be used very much for control. What I'm going to do is take this black color and I'm going to put it just along the crease of my eye so that I really take the blue and I make it even darker. I'm just getting a little bit of black on the tip and I'm lining the crease of my eye with this black color. Now I'm going to take my crystal, which is a very, very pale blue, shimmery color. These have not been opening well today. This pale blue shimmery color, and now I'm going to apply that to the insides of my eyes. To do that, I'm going to use this brush. This is a MAC 247 brush, which again has really, really dense bristles, which add really nice control. Now I'm going to take my favorite 224 brush, kind of get off all the excess shadow on it, which I like rub it across my hand or fingers. And now I'm just going to do some blending, because right now you can see like there's a distinct line between the shimmery and the dark and the shimmery and the shadow, and you really just want to blend that together in the middle here. I'm even going to take some of the crystal and I'm going to go under my eye right here. I think that piece just needs a little luster, a little highlight. All right, and there you go. Now we have a nice smoky eye. The last thing to do is add mascara and we'll be all done. So I'm going to be using this MAC False Lash Extreme Black mascara for the first time. I'm super excited. I've mentioned these before. Eyelash curlers are your best friend. Remember when I said in my what's in my makeup bag, I always said I always keep a little spray bottle of water? Yeah. That's why I keep a little spray bottle of water. When I do things like this and I just get mascara out of place, then that is great for. Just put a little bit of water on a cotton ball or spray it on your finger, and then you can get off little boo-boos like that. I explained this tool in my video where I was getting ready for an audition, and I explained that I like to brush my lashes after I apply mascara. It just gets rid of all the clumps and gookiness that mascara applies. All right, eyes are done. Only thing left are the lips. For this video, I thought it would be super fun to pull out a bright red lipstick from my makeup kit, because when you're on stage, you don't want to hold anything back. Ordinarily, if you were going out in the town and you did like a real smoky eye for your event, if you're going to a wedding or just going to a party or something like that, I would recommend doing a nude or a muted lip with a smoky eye. You always want to have a contrast. If you do a bold red lip to go out, you want to do a muted eye. But when you're on stage, you don't hold back. You have bold eyes, bold cheeks, bold highlights and contours, bold lips. So here we go. This is a Clinique, just a Clinique red. It's matte crimson, like they're not even kidding. It is. This is just red, flat out red lipstick. Like, I really do not like lipstick. I have never once in my life used lip liner. Are you a fan of lip liner? Let me know. Leave me a comment down below. Lip liner, yay or nay? What do you think? Oh, I just feel like lipstick just gets everywhere. And then I've got lipstick all over my fingers. My fingers are bleeding lipstick. And then it like smudges, it gets on your teeth. All right, you guys, there we have a full face of stage makeup. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it was helpful. Remember, this is not how I would put on makeup if I were going out, if I was going to an audition. That is a different set of makeup, different makeup skills, different makeup applications, different products that we use for stage than we do for streetwear. So fellas, if you're watching this video because you're trying to learn how to do stage makeup, pretty much the only thing you're not gonna do maybe would be the smoky eye and the red lips. But everything else, the blush, the highlights, the contours, the base, the foundation, even some sort of eyeliner and mascara is what the fellas wear on stage too. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.